with guys. Sorry, this is kind of weird. It's like an echo with my TV.
Yeah, turn the TV down. It'll make it easier.
Okay. I just wanted to give you guys something to think about here. Let's suppose you were walking down like a path, like in a creek. You're in the woods or something, and you come across a watch.
Time out. Time out. This is the Watchmaker argument, and it's exactly what I talked about at the beginning of the show, only Ray Comfort comes up with painter and painting, and he tries to disguise it. Basically, the argument is if you find this watch lying on a beach, you instantly recognize, because of its complexity and sense of purpose, that it was in fact intelligently designed. That's exactly where you're going, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. That argument has been demonstrated to be so horribly flawed, and yet I understand completely why it's presented, because it seems so reasonable. The reason why you recognize the watch is designed has nothing to do with how complex it is, how ordered it is, or any perceived sense of purpose. It's because you already know the watch is designed. You have a million examples of watches being designed, and none of them occurring naturally. And the occurring naturally is the key element. Humans occur naturally. Animals occur naturally. Rocks occur naturally. Buildings and watches don't. Now, some people have lodged certain objections to that, but I'd like to say that if you draw your analogy, your watchmaker analogy out to its logical conclusion, that there is a God, and he created the universe and everything in it. Then in reality, he also created the grains of sand on that beach, and therefore you are walking along a beach full of watches next to an ocean full of watches and a stream and a tree made of watches, and you're reaching down and picking up one watch and saying, this watch is so vastly different from the millions and trillions of other watches that are surrounding me that it is therefore proof of a designer. It is a self-reinforcing argument. You're inventing a claim based on, as I talked about earlier in the show, which you might have missed, we recognize the design because we've scaffolded ourselves up to the point where we can identify that this is actually the case, that this is actually designed. We don't get to put the designed label on it until we're certain that it is.
Well, I think you guys are missing the point of the analogy. I mean, let's bring this up. Let's say you were walking down that same path, and you see an eye laying on the ground.
And how is that different?
Well, it's not different. That's the point. You see an eye laying on the ground, and you instantly recognize, oh, that's an eye. It is made for the purpose of seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Just switching the watch to the eye doesn't do anything to discount what I just said.
Well, I'm not trying to make a difference. I'm trying to draw the similarity between the two. You recognize that both of them are made.
I've already granted you that there's no difference in your argument whether you put a watch on the beach or an eyeball on the beach. I'll grant you there's no difference.
Uh-huh.
My rebuttal stands. I mean, how is it you think this is an argument for design? Because when you look around at humans, for example, you may see things that you identify as design or purpose. But in reality, the distinction, as I pointed out, is that humans occur naturally and watches don't.
Okay. The main point of the analogy, I'm not trying to say that humans and watches are one and the same. I'm just trying to bring across the point that you recognize